I remember hearing this story about a young boy. Now, this happened during the 1920s, somewhere in Asia, where because of the war which was going on, he had to flee his hometown along with thousands of others. And he lost everything, his parents, his relatives. But he held on to his faith. Now, he did not know how to read or write, but in this new place where he kind of, let's say, settled, he had a routine. Early in the morning as he went to work, there was a church nearby, and he would walk by the church, take his hat off, take his shoes off, get inside the church. There's a picture of Jesus there. Stand in front of the picture and say, "Good morning, my Christ. This is Simeon. Please help me work hard today." He would leave. So after a hard day of work, he would come back the same way, stop in front of that church, take his hat off and his shoes off and go inside, stand in front of that picture of Jesus and say, "Good evening, my Christ. This is Simeon. Thank you for helping me to work hard today." That was his prayer and his prayer life. And he continued to do that as years progressed. Later on, many years later, there was more hardship in his life. He lost his family, and finally, as an old man, he got sick and was admitted in the hospital. While in the hospital, a nurse noticed the fact that even though he was admitted there, nobody was coming to visit him. So she went up and asked, "Simeon, you don't have any family to come and visit you?" So he said, "Oh, no. Christ comes to visit me every day morning and the evening." And she said, "Well, this old man kind of seems to have lost it a little." But she told the priest or the chaplain or the spiritual guide who was there. And so this priest came and talked to Simeon and said, "So you said you had Christ visiting you?" He said, "Yes. In the morning and in the evening, Christ comes and he says, 'Hello, Simeon, this is Christ. Be patient.'" And as the priest interacted with this old man, he realized he was a kind-hearted, tender, loving person. But then one day, Simeon said to the priest, "Today Christ came and said, 'Be patient, and in 3 days you will be with me.'" So one day morning, the third day morning, when the priest came to actually visit Simeon, Simeon was talking to him, and while they were conversing, Simeon froze up and he cried, "Christ is here!" And that was it. He died peacefully. Prayer and spiritual life need not be complicated. If anyone asked me, any young person especially asked me, "How do you hear from God?" I want to hear from God now. My answer would be, please don't chase after that emotional hype you're looking for. That's not the answer. Because you could get that emotional hype anywhere. In a football stadium, in a soccer match, after hearing a particular kind of music or movie, whatever. But that's not what you should be chasing after. Remember that story of Simeon? He was just doing a simple thing, but he did it consistently for, let's say 50 years, 60 years, so that at the end of his life it became so natural, part of him. So much so that he just kind of said to the nurse, "Oh yeah, Christ visits me." With Christ, a personal, consistent, intimate relationship, and that was developed over time. You do that, you start that today. Keep it going. Don't go after all these emotional hypes. It will happen. Commit your ways to the Lord.